Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. In the 51st episode, we look at how Trump's 2024 win reshapes the dairy industry. So, please grab a glass of milk, sit back, and let's start with today's episode.
As November 6th, 2024 dawned, the fields of America's dairy heartland lay still, oblivious to the political earthquake that had just reshaped the nation. Defying predictions, Donald Trump secured a victory that left many stunned, gathering overwhelming support from dairy-centric areas like Wisconsin. This victory transcended politics, marking a significant nationwide movement with far-reaching consequences for the dairy sector. Drawing from the resilience of the dairy heartland, states including Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota became vital contributors to Trump's electoral strategy, delivering a win that few anticipated. The regions rich in dairy farms and industry professionals were central to Trump's triumph. Their economic and cultural sway made them essential components of the electoral framework, highlighting issues deeply touching rural livelihoods. So, what implications does this victory hold for dairy farmers who propelled this shift? How might it alter the domestic and global scenarios for the dairy industry? The answers hinge on the evolving relationship between policymaking and agricultural expectations, a nuanced balance this administration must skillfully manage.
In an unpredictable and fiercely contested political landscape, Trump's triumphant return to the presidency in 2024 hinged on a strategic embrace of America's rural backbone, the dairy heartland. Central to this electoral victory were the rural voters, who found their voices echoed and their concerns acknowledged in Trump's policy promises. The commitment to revitalizing industries, reducing federal interference, and offering tax incentives for agricultural success resonated deeply among dairy farmers, whose livelihoods depend on domestic stability and international trade dynamics. Wisconsin, the heartbeat of victory. Wisconsin has historically been a battleground state and emerged as the keystone of Trump's electoral strategy. The dairy industry's influence runs deep in this state, intertwined with its economic and cultural identity. Trump's promises to bolster local economies through infrastructure investments and trade policies favoring agricultural exports struck a chord with many voters disenchanted with previous administrative strategies. The demographic shifts played a crucial part. An influx of younger farmers embracing innovation and technology in dairy farming aligned with Trump's vision of an America that rewards hard work and ingenuity. This new generation, more skeptical of globalist policies and more protective of local interests, found a kindred spirit in Trump's rhetoric and policies. Ultimately, targeted campaigning, policy promises tailored to rural and agricultural communities, and the effective use of media to communicate with these pivotal groups again handed Trump the keys to the White House, underlining Wisconsin's critical role in this political drama.
The decisive 2024 election victory heralds a new era for American dairy farmers, one marked by significant shifts in domestic policy. Trump's administration is expected to drive reforms to invigorate the industry. Central to these changes are tax reforms that could alleviate financial pressures on dairy producers. By reducing tax burdens, farmers might reinvest savings into sustainable practices or expand their operations, fueling growth and innovation across the dairy landscape. Deregulation is another cornerstone of Trump's agenda, promising to peel back layers of bureaucratic red tape. For dairy farmers, this could mean streamlined operations and reduced compliance costs. With fewer regulatory hurdles, there's an opportunity to enhance efficiencies and accelerate production processes, potentially boosting domestic and global competitiveness. Furthermore, a renewed focus on rural infrastructure could provide dairy regions with much-needed resources. Transportation, broadband, and energy investments could drive operational efficiencies and open new markets. Infrastructure enhancement can bridge the urban-rural divide, enabling farmers to sell products more effectively and participate more robustly in the digital economy. Yet, alongside opportunities, these policy shifts might introduce challenges. Small-scale farmers could face heightened competition as larger enterprises leverage deregulation and tax savings to consolidate further. Infrastructure improvements, while beneficial, require time. interim periods may see continued struggles with inadequate facilities. Ultimately, Trump's win demands a strategic response from the dairy industry. Farmers must adapt swiftly to harness the benefits of these policy changes, navigating new landscapes while mitigating potential risks. As the administration begins to unfold its agenda, dairy farmers are positioned at a critical juncture where adaptability and foresight will define their future in this evolving market.
As President Trump embarks on his second tenure, foreign policy stands at a crossroads, with implications that could ripple across global dairy markets. He has always favored a more protectionist approach, which could mean revisiting existing trade agreements and leveraging tariffs as bargaining chips. The dairy industry, deeply interwoven with international markets, must prepare for a landscape of potential volatility. Under a renewed Trump administration, we might witness a recalibration of trade relationships, particularly with key players in the dairy import arena, China and Mexico. Trade talks could pivot towards securing better deals, possibly opening doors to new markets that remained elusive during previous negotiations. However, such deals might come with strings attached, reshaping tariff structures that could alleviate or impose new costs on U.S. exports. Should Trump lean into his well-known advocacy for American products, we could see an emphasis on creating international demand for U.S. dairy, from milk powder to cheese. This could boost export opportunities for American farmers who successfully ride the wave. Yet, with every new opportunity lies the challenge of staying competitive. Dairy farmers may find themselves vying against countries that could better withstand tariffs should global competition intensify under Trump's policies. Furthermore, how Trump's foreign policy maneuvers influence global pricing will weigh heavily on profitability. If tariff battles escalate, for example, it may lead to a fragmented trade environment where global dairy prices fluctuate unpredictably. American dairy farmers must stay nimble, perhaps investing in technology or innovations that reduce costs and improve yield to maintain their footing in a potentially tumultuous market. If history indicates, Trump's policies will be audacious and assertive. The real question is whether America's dairy industry can swiftly adapt to turn emerging challenges into opportunities. The answer lies in the strategies farmers adopt and how well they navigate the administration's complex and often unpredictable trade strategies.
As we reflect on the momentous win in the 2024 election and its implications for the dairy industry, it's clear that Trump's administration could bring both challenges and opportunities. The strategic capture of the Midwest's dairy heartland underscores a pivotal change in political and agricultural landscapes, suggesting a potential recalibration of domestic policies that might favor traditional farming sectors. Internationally, the promise of renegotiated trade deals could open new markets or introduce tighter competition. This dual-edged sword presents a unique scenario. Will farmers thrive under enhanced market opportunities or struggle with regulatory pressures and global dynamics? As dairy professionals, it's crucial to ponder how Trump's policies align with your operational strategies. How can you leverage potential tax incentives or subsidies? Could shifts in trade policies necessitate a reevaluation of your export strategies? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences. How do you anticipate navigating these changes brought forth by this victory? What are your biggest hopes or concerns for the dairy industry in the coming years? Engaging in this dialogue is more essential than ever as we collectively shape the future of dairy under this administration.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.